Today in this video, we're going to be trying to recreate this image right here using Turtle. And so we want to try to get as close as possible to creating that image. So if you want to, you can go ahead and pause this video. You can try to create it, try to get it to the best that you possibly can. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and give you the rundown of the code, and I'm going to be telling you step by step what we're doing and why we're doing that and what part we're creating. All right, so anyways, let's go ahead and let's begin. So if you're going to try to attempt this, go ahead and pause this if you'd like, because I'm going to be giving you the run through here. So what we want to do first is we've got to import the Turtle module. So in this case, import the Turtle module. Remember, Turtle module, you can think of a module as like an add-on in Python, okay? We're also giving it this nickname T, so every time that I reference that module, Turtle, I've got to refer to it as T from this point forward. So what we're going to do is we're going to create an instance of a turtle, right? Or of turtle. What's that? Instance of turtle. And so now how do we end up doing that? Well, what we're going to end up doing is we can create a variable. So you could name this anything. I'm going to name it painter because we're painting this picture, and that's our person that's going to be doing the job here for us. So that is the turtle that's going to be painting everything. So what we got to end up doing is we reference the turtle module, and then we're going to use this function turtle that is with a capital T. So be careful, all of this is case sensitive. This should be all lowercase, and then this should also have that first uppercase T there. All right, so painter, what this is gonna do, that's gonna create the actual painter. We also have to render our screen here, so let's go ahead and do this at the very, very end. WN equals T, remember, because T is the nickname that we're using for our module. And then we're gonna type in screen with a capital S. Then after this, we're gonna do WN.main loop. All right, so now I can save this, and then I can end up running this. I saved my file also as day 4 practice. If you want, you could end up naming it you got mail.py, of course. And so we ran this, and so now we can see that we've got our turtle here. Remember, the turtle graphics window is set up as a coordinate system where we begin at the origin 0, 0. Also, by default, we are facing east as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get ready to begin. I'm actually going to start by rotating our painter left 90 degrees. What I want to do first is actually build that far right part of the envelope. So we're going to go ahead and go here, painter dot left 90, and so remember that unit of this number is in degrees here. After this, we're going to go painter dot forward. Now remember, you can go dot forward like this, and then you could put in your value of 150. The other option though, the shortcut I always like to use is .fd, so you can do that. And so remember, this is a unit of 150. So this is pixels here is the unit there. So pixels is 150. Up next, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start to create that top part of the actual envelope. And so we're gonna go dot left 90 here. So now let's go ahead and run this. Let's just see where we're at so far. So what we did is we created this part that's going up here. We're going to turn left 90, and now as you can imagine, we've got to create that top part of the envelope. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go forward. So painter.fd, and we're going to go forward 300 pixels is what that value is supposed to be. So 300 pixels, okay? Remember, this is also degrees. I always like to put the units down for you all at the beginning so you understand that. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go forward the 300, and then what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to use the go-to. So painter.go-to. And what I'm going to tell the painter to go to is going to be, if you would imagine this, we're going up 150 over 300. Basically what I want to do is I want to go halfway the distance of that total height. So I'm going to go 75 in terms of my y-axis. And then what we're going to end up doing is we're going to actually go to negative 150 is what that ends up becoming, because we're going 300 pixels to the left, right? Half of that distance is 150. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to send our painter to the middle of this envelope here. So we got negative 150, and then we've got 75 there. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this so I can show you the visualization here of everything. So we were going up, right, then we're going here, and then we went to go to. Remember, this was 300 pixels here, so we're going to go to negative 150. So what this is right here on the x-axis. In terms of that y-axis, if I'm going in the middle of this line, it's going to be 75 there. Okay, now as you can imagine, what we've got to do next is we probably got to end up going to this point right here, right? And so if you remember this point in terms of those coordinates, remember our origin is 0, 0, so 0 on the x, 0 on the y. We just went up 150 here, so where we're at is going to be 0, 150 is coordinates there. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to tell our painter, hey, you've got to go to these coordinates next, and what we said that was 0 and 150. And so now let's go ahead and run this. Remember, we always want to be running things, verifying everything step by step. And so now, yep, sure enough, we've got it. Okay, so very, very good. So now what we could end up doing is we could just simply go forward 300 pixels now, right? So let's go ahead and do that. So painter dot forward 300 pixels. We'll save it. Let's run this again. And so now you can see that we're all the way on this left side, okay? So now, as you can imagine, we've got to do what next? We've got to turn left 90, right? And then we've got to go forward 150 here, okay? So let's go ahead and let's provide the computer with that information, those steps. So painter dot, so we got to go left 90 degrees, right? And then painter dot forward 150 pixels. And so now what we're going to end up seeing is that we've got this whole thing over here created, now that left side. And so what we've got to do is we've got to end up turning left 90 degrees again, right? And then go forward 300 pixels. So let's go ahead and do that. So painter dot left 90 degrees, painter dot forward 300. Let's go ahead and let's run this. Perfect. So now we've got that created. This is actually the entire envelope created. So that's all good. And so now what I want to do next is I want to actually show you how we can end up creating a new turtle that's going to be able to write text out. Okay, so let's get this practice. We're going to just create a new turtle, right? Another thing that you could do is you could end up hiding that painter as well, so that that previous turtle doesn't show up anymore, but we're going to go ahead and leave it like that. So text equals t.turtle. So remember, this is just a new instance of turtle, right? So this is our new instance of turtle, and we're referencing it as text, right? So now we got text equals t.turtle, and so now what we want to tell the turtle to do, hey, take your pen up so that we don't mark anything, right? And then what we're going to tell it is go to, and we're going to place this actually at -260, comma, -50 here, okay? So now we've got that, and then what I can do is I can use the text.write. So the .write function, that will allow you to actually write text on your turtle. So we're gonna say you got mail. Then what we can end up doing is we can also end up adding in the font here. So font equals, and what we're gonna put in here, this is actually a data type we have not talked about yet, but this is a tuple. Here's what this is called. So a tuple, and you know, you can look that up, you can research it. But basically the idea behind having a tuple is it's something that is not changed within the code. So like lists or dictionaries you can change later on, but the tuple is actually set up because it's going to be something that's consistent throughout. So we're just setting this up where it's Comic Sans, everybody's favorite font, right? And we got the font size of 30. And so now let's go ahead, let's run this. Let's see what this looks like. So as you can see, there we go, new turtles created. We went over here because we had the pin up, it did not draw anything out, right? So that's the PU. You can also use pin up, that's what that is also. We ended up writing out this text here, you got mail. And so there you have it. That's how we end up creating this in Python. Hope you all enjoyed this little video with this little challenge, you got mail. Catch y'all later. As always, don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe. Happy coding. Bye-bye.